I am, except for these chains. You would think after that Paul would have converted Agrippa, but he didn't. And you won't convert everyone either. But you are called to be faithful. Tell what you know. How He changed the destination of your soul. How you know that you have salvation. That's a promise that we have. We know that we're saved. In fact, John writes over in 1 John chapter 5, he said, I write these things to you, the church, the Christians, so that you might know that you are saved. John chapter 20, verse 31, he tells the reason or the purpose for writing the Gospel of John. I write these things so that you might know Jesus and be saved. See the difference? The Gospel of John's telling about how to be saved. The first letter of John's telling so that you know that you are saved. You know that you can share the fact of your life, how He changed the direction of your life. You can tell that. You can tell that Jesus is the driving force in your life, your priority, your passion. He's the desire of your heart. And some will respond in faith, some won't. Carl Raudebush at Windfall called me back 3 years ago. He said, I've got a jail ministry and there's a young lady that wants to be baptized. He said, she lives in your vicinity, Atlanta. He said, could we use your baptistry? Could I baptize her? Would you be there? And I said, yes. So I turned the heater on, the baptistry heater, and Carl came, and we waited, and we waited. And finally, he made a call, and no answer. We waited, we waited. Carl said, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I said, Carl, we'll wait another half hour if you want to, and we waited another half hour. And finally he said, well, it looks like the Lord got stood up again. The lady had heard the gospel proclaimed. Carl had done that. She said she wanted to make a decision, but she didn't. What Paul said to the king, Jesus changed the destination of his soul. Jesus changed the direction of his life. Jesus changed the desire of his heart. I'd like to close with where we started this morning, Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 through 11. And then I saw a great white throne and him who was seated on it. Earth and sky fled from his presence, and there was no place for them. This is a sobering passage of Scripture. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne, and the books were opened. Another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. The sea gave up the dead that were in it, and death and Hades gave up the dead that were in them, and each person was judged according to what he had done. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. The lake of fire is the second death. If anyone's name was not written or found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. We will stand, all of us, before the King. Writer Hebrews says it's appointed for all men to die once and then face the judgment. 2 Corinthians 5:17 basically says the same thing. You have an opportunity this morning to make your stand. If you don't know where you'll spend eternity, If you don't have a hope beyond this life,